Greetings, Royal Family. It's your girl, Royal B, back with another video. Today's topic is going to be about Iyanla Vanzant's recent episode with LeAndria Johnson, Gospel Singer LeAndria Johnson. So I just want to share my thoughts with you guys regarding this touching episode. But before I go in, be sure to like this video and be sure to comment after the video. It keeps the conversation going. And if you like what you see, be sure to subscribe. So to anyone coming back to my channel, I just want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being a part of the Royal Family. Those of you who showed support on my previous videos, I love you, love you, love you. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, I just want to get right into it. All right, so OWN's show, popular show, Iyanla Fix My Life. I'm pretty sure many of you have already heard of Iyanla. You know what she gives. She does not claim, I want to give this disclaimer because I have an affinity for Auntie Iyanla. She does not claim to be a licensed therapist. She's more so a life coach. And as she oftentimes says, she gives you the tools so that you can make better life decisions. And she does that well. I mean, this woman, this is definitely her calling. I'm telling you, like her healing powers, her words of encouragement, the tactics that she uses to help people want to fix their lives is truly commendable. All right, now that that's been said, LeAndria Johnson. So she was a contestant on, what is the name of the show? Ooh, this is bad. It was a gospel show. It was similar to, this is terrible, American Idol. It's going to come to me and I'm just going to blurt it out in the video. So she was a contestant on the gospel singing competition show, Sunday's Best. See, there it is. And if any of you have ever heard of her or seen her audition, I'm talking about vocal powerhouse. Like her voice, it gives me goosebumps. And there are only a selective few women and men whose singing capabilities just make you just tremble. You know, definitely anointed. Definitely anointed. So she was a contestant on Sunday's Best. She won the competition and she basically was thrusted into the limelight. She won a Grammy for her first gospel song, which is quite an accomplishment for a new kid on the block, right? And, you know, fame, notoriety, you know, financial perks, of course, you know, compensation in all forms. However, you know, oftentimes people forget that these celebrities are people too, you know, people just like you and I who have struggles, who have issues, if you will. So Iyanla was contacted by the head of LeAndria's record label and also her friend. I did take some notes because I'm trying to stay on task. So if you see me looking down occasionally, it's because I have notes. Phil was his name. So Phil contacted Iyanla because he was concerned, you know, at the fact that LeAndria, as he says, is an alcoholic. You know, he was concerned about not only her well-being, but her reputation as well. So if you guys remember, this is something that you can easily search online. Sister LeAndria had a meltdown where she went onto social media and she basically said, you know, blank the church, F religion, F Christianity. She basically stated that the church is hypocritical. They're full of hypocrites, scam artists. And I know from following her career that she had some tactics of reaching the people that were shunned upon by the church, if you will. And, you know, she was criticized often and God knows, you know, what else. I know in one of her lives years ago, she did mention that she was molested by someone who was a part of the church. She came up in a very strict upbringing. Her brother did mention this on the show as well. So she was like reared in the church. So she's like seen it all, been through it all. And I know that she's getting a lot of criticism now, just as she was in the past, because of her speaking out regarding her experiences with the church. She, like I said, she said, F the church, F religion, F Christianity. She called them, the church, hypocrites. And again, this is from her experience. So, I know that she's going to catch, she's already caught a lot of heat, but who's to say? There are judgmental people all around. In my previous video, I actually, the topic was five traits, of a toxic friend. And, criticism and judgment was one of the characteristics. So I'll put the link if the card doesn't appear up here or up here. I'm still getting used to these YouTube streets. It'll be in the description, so you can kind of take a look at that as well. So, all right, getting back to the episode. Like I said, I'm trying to stay on track. I got my notes here. So Phil contacted Iyanla because he was concerned about his friend as well as his business partner, because he's the head of her record label. So LeAndria basically, arrives at Iyanla's place. Iyanla sits down with her, kind of talks to her, gets to know her a little bit, and basically holds her accountable for her behavior, but with love. So, it was very, I don't want to say it was uncomfortable to watch, but it was kind of like, because I just have love for LeAndria. I really do. And even though I haven't experienced some of the criticism that she's been getting in the past years, we all can basically kind of put ourselves in her shoes. We've been judged, talked about, ridiculed, abused, used. So, it just comes in different forms, but I'm pretty sure we can all relate. So, Iyanla starts talking about, some of the things that she's been saying on social media, her outbursts, things like that, and kind of gently holds her accountable. Iyanla let her know, I'm basically not here, to be a part of your cheering squad or enable you, but I am here with love, which another thing that I respect about Mother Iyanla. So LeAndria at first, because there were two parts to this Fix My Life with LeAndria. So the first part, LeAndria did not feel that she was an alcoholic. Why? Because she said that she still functioned. She wasn't stumbling out of bed. She wasn't slurring her speech. But the amount of alcohol that she consumed, in a 24-hour period, it was a lot. She got a DUI, and she also had to wear an ankle monitor because it was court ordered. She's never been to AA because obviously she felt she didn't have a problem. LeAndria then disclosed that her brother passed away very young, in his early 30s, and he was hit by a car, and he passed away 10 years ago. So that's something that she's still dealing with. She feels like he's supposed to be here with her, and she doesn't understand why. So, that on top of having a drinking problem that she doesn't see as a problem, on top of her church hurt. So, and she did admit that she drinks to numb the pain. And we all have our vices. So, this is a judgment-free zone. Like I said, I don't judge, but I will joke. This is not a joking matter, of course, but this is a judgment-free zone. Everybody's going to have their opinions, but until you really try to put yourself in someone's shoes and try to extend some sort of grace, some sort of mercy, some sort of empathy, you'll never know. Now, I'm going to pause it because, in my opinion, watching part 1 and part 2, even though she seemed open to the process, she did try to leave, and Iyanla caught her at the end of that driveway in the street and basically, quoted the Bible, lean not on your own understanding. LeAndria said, I don't even know what to understand. And Iyanla basically had a come to Jesus moment with her and told her, you're trying to figure this out by yourself, and it's not for you to figure out. Obviously this is too much for you to handle. You've got yourself in serious legal trouble. You have children, your children are seeing this. And, you can't do this by yourself. If you don't admit that you have a problem, how are you going to seek help? I just feel like there is more, and I could be wrong, but I just sense that there was more. Like, just, she seems so broken. She seems so physically tired, emotionally tired, spiritually tired, and even though she has people around her that do love her, but I feel she has people around her that are not loving her the way that she needs to be loved. Iyanla also sat down with her booking agent. What was his name? I don't recall his name. I don't remember his name. But she sat down with the booking agent, and you can tell, that he really cares for her. I've read some people's comments regarding this particular episode, and some people were saying that, he's an enabler, which he is. That doesn't mean that you're a bad person if you're an enabler. But they also stated that he enables her because, there's a financial gain for him. Now, that very well could be true. All signs lead to that. The proof is in the pudding, right? And, Iyanla basically held him accountable. Why is she showing up late? Why is she missing shows? Why are you making excuses for her? Why are you deleting social media posts when she goes on these rants? He's trying to, he's the cleanup man, basically. And I sense from him that he's trying to be a good friend. He even admitted that he started out as booking agent, but took over the role as big brother. And again, Iyanla held him accountable and said, where were you when all of these social media rants were taking place? Where were you when she was getting drunk, when she was getting a DUI? Why didn't you intervene as a big brother? And sometimes we don't want to tell our friends the truth, because keeping the lie alive, I guess, can be beneficial to us, whether that's financially, whether that's emotionally. So sometimes, people aren't honest with one another, and it's because, okay, I'm back. Sometimes people are not honest with one another, and it's because it's out of fear. Fear, will the friendship break up? Whatever it is that I'm gaining from this friendship, will that be gone? He may have a family to feed. He may have grown accustomed to reaping the financial benefits of being with LeAndria, or being associated with LeAndria, which I think is unfair. I mean, not judging, but it is unfair because you're worried more about yourself and your well-being, and you're willing to risk your friend's safety, your friend's peace of mind, your friend's health. So, I mean, I don't know if his intentions, because you can't put anything past anyone these days. So I don't know if his intentions were to just milk it until, right until the wheels fall off, or he cares about her so much, he sees that she's so broken, and it's just easier to just kind of give her what she wants to appease her. Either way, Iyanla, called him out. She called him to the carpet. She even went as far as to say, I think this was in the second part, she told LeAndria, she told her booking agent as well, and she told the booking agent in front of LeAndria, because she showed up late, her call time, he wasn't aware of her call time, which is an excuse, and you could tell he knew it was an excuse, but she let LeAndria know, listen, you need to fire this guy, you need to fire him. And he looked like, his world was coming down. And I understood why Iyanla said that. Sometimes she told him, early on, episode 1, the friendship and the business relationship, the lines are getting like blurred, you know what I mean? And it's not benefiting LeAndria, whom you say you care so much about. Sometimes it's like I said, it's hard to tell our friends the truth, but would you rather, a soft lie is better than the harsh truth? I mean, this is her life. Like, this is not just all about you. She has children, she has loved ones. Who knows if she's taking care of other individuals financially. If God forbid she ends up dead, she's not going to be of any financial use to you either. So I don't know. And in the beginning, her record producer, the head of her record label, told her that she needs to clean house. He told her that at the end of the second episode as well. So just kind of giving you a background, LeAndria did end up agreeing to go to rehab. The moment when Iyanla and her, I guess her elders or some other spiritual guides, and as well as Erica Campbell, the other half of Mary, she came and talked to her. Kirk Franklin did a video telling her how much he loved her, he cares about her. And, Iyanla surrounded her and they prayed for her, and, she broke down. I felt it, something broke. And she just cried out to God and said, God, I don't want to drink anymore. And I believed it. And I just feel like you get to a point where you can only run but so far for so long, And also, I agree with Iyanla. Like, the points that she was making regarding the church and the people who hurt her in the church, that's her truth. So, you can't turn around and say, I'm only saying this because I read a lot of commentary. I watched a lot of commentary and I read a lot of commentary of others regarding this episode. And that's her experience, that's her truth. And listen, a lot of people have said the same thing that LeAndria is saying. So, and what I feel that she has to deal with now, mind you, I'm in no means a professional. I did earn my degree in psychology, but still, I feel that she needs to get real honest with herself. And Iyanla, I think, kind of like positioned her in that lane, give her the tools to basically make the decision to better her life, which like I said, I have the utmost respect for Iyanla. But LeAndria has to get honest, and sometimes it's uncomfortable for people to clean house, to get rid of this person or do things different, deviate from the norm. And even though I know that booking agent probably means well, I'm just going to be positive and just, assume that he meant well, but he is not he's not equipped with the tools to give her what she needs to get well, because he didn't even see that she had a sickness. She had a sickness. There's so much pain from the death of her brother, from her, relationship with God, who is not on track. She even said that herself. She said she can't minister to anyone. So she knows, which is good. I can't minister to anyone like this, she said. I got to get right with God. And I just feel like she's drowning. And it's like, when you're accustomed to doing something one way for so long, it's like, it's easier to just continue doing it that way. And just like, no, I can't do this by myself. And that's why Iyanla told her, lean not on your own understanding. Because as much as we don't like to admit it, sometimes we do need help. And I know, especially for a lot of women in my family, very headstrong, very independent, very outspoken, independent thinkers, very successful, but who checks on the strong person, right? Like, you can be strong. Everybody has some sort of strength in them. I believe everybody has some sort of strength in them, but who checks on the strong friend, right? Like, when you just automatically assume that, oh, this person has it, oh, they're strong, you'll get past it, you're strong, man, God got you. Sometimes you need more. Sometimes you need to be reassured in a different way. And there's some people who have the tools to do so, and there's others who don't have the tools to do so. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. Now, if they have traits, toxic traits, that's a different story. Like I said, check out my previous video and 5 traits of a toxic friend. And, I wish I would have put 6, because enabling, that's not beneficial to anyone. Enabling someone to continue destructive behavior, it's sad. It's sad because you may think that you're doing something right. Some people know that they're not doing something right, but you're not speaking up to save your friend's life, And there's some people who do it intentionally. I'm not saying that the booking agent, LeAndria's booking agent, is that person, but you know when you know. That's a whole different video. But enabling someone to continue destructive behavior, that's not a friend. That's not a friend. I understand that, we're all adults and you can't make people do what they don't want to do. But I've been vocal about some behaviors that some close friends of mine were exhibiting, reckless behaviors. And, I have a way of putting things into perspective for people. And it's all a part of getting to know somebody. When you know someone, you built a relationship with them. I talked about this in my previous video as well. When you get to know someone, you should know how to approach them. You should kind of know their behaviors. You should know a lot about them other than their favorite color. You should kind of know a little bit of their background. And when genuine friendships are built, these things you just automatically know about their family life, their past, if they disclose these things to you. So, that has to be taken into consideration, when you're bringing things to someone's attention. But, that word friend, man, I'm telling you, sometimes your friends can really, help you just destroy yourself, And I just really hope and pray. I believe that she wants to do better. It's just she does not know how, and she did mention that she didn't want to sing gospel music anymore. And I thought it was extremely interesting that her booking agent, when the two of them were sitting in front of Iyanla, she said she doesn't want to sing gospel anymore. And he's like, yeah, I heard what she said, but I don't think she doesn't want to sing gospel anymore. It's like he was in denial because, again, I'm sure that he was reaping the financial as well as other benefits from being LeAndria's booking agent, And it's sad. It's so sad. It's just like they have a unhealthy codependency on each other. She pays him to basically cover up for her and make things go away. It's an unhealthy codependency. And, I agreed when Iyanla basically told her to fire him. Doesn't mean that she has to end the friendship. I mean, they're going to have to rework the terms of their friendship in order for it to go forward in a different manner. But I do agree that he should be fired as her booking agent because she needs someone who's going to hold her to task. Now, the head of her record label, I think his name was Phil, right? Did I say that? Phil? He basically gave her 90 days. He gave her an ultimatum. He said, if you don't go to rehab and if you don't get on the right track to do what you need to do for yourself, then I'm going to have to end this business relationship. I love you too much to see you destroy yourself because of this, and this being alcohol. And he held her to task. And even though I know that was hard for him, I know if I had to give someone that I loved and cared about an ultimatum like that, like a friend, depending on the circumstances, it would be hard, but they have to understand that you're serious. Like I don't think, they say never, but I don't know how I would feel putting head to pillow at night, knowing that my friend is partaking in destructive behavior and they have children, and I sit and enable that. Like, it would fall on me too. God forbid if anything was to happen, you see people sit around and say, I should have did this, I should have did that. And it's not easy all the time, but when you genuinely love someone, there are going to be difficult times. There are going to be, rocky times. There are going to be good times. But I really think that this was a good episode. I found healing in this episode. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not judging anyone who is. I'm not a drug addict, not judging anyone who is. I've never had substance abuse issues, but I really feel that this episode helped me in a sense as far as taking responsibility for my own downfalls. It may not be substance abuse. It may be, it could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be substance abuse. And that's the one thing that I like, one of the many things that I love about Iyanla. Even if the subject matter doesn't pertain to me, I always find a message, that I can apply to my own life to help me just be a better queen. Why not? And then, of course, with that information, I try to spread that to as many people as possible. And just know, it's not always going to be easy, but lean not on your own understanding. And I think one of the most profound things that Mother Iyanla said when she was addressing LeAndria is, the same sick mindset that got you into this position, you cannot use that same mindset to help you get out. Profound. May not be that deep for some, but that is extremely, extremely profound. Sometimes we have to be conscious of the things that we allow to seep into our mind, the things that we tell ourselves, the things that you listen to, the things that people tell you. Like I said in my previous video, toxic friendships. The people that you choose to associate yourself with, they're either going to elevate you or they're basically going to aid in your downfall, and enabling someone to continue in destructive behavior. That right there, that could cost someone their life, literally and figuratively. And we just all have to try to make a conscious effort to be conscious of our own behavior and how that may not only affect us, but affect the people around us. So this series with LeAndria, was great. It was profound. I'm really hoping and sending positive energy to her, hoping that she really, really, really sees this through. And even if she does see this through and she falls down, that's okay, baby girl. Get right back up. Fall down 7 times, get back up 8. It's a constant battle. Every single day that we're living in this world, a constant battle. But we wake up every day, by the grace of God, we wake up every day and we have new grace, new mercy, just like Erica said in her meeting with LeAndria. And it's just like, I just try to tell myself every morning, Lord, like, God, just give me encouragement, encourage me, give me the strength to just do better than I did yesterday. We all have to do what works for us. And another important takeaway is, when you feel like even if you're embarrassed to ask for help, seek help. There are people out here that are willing to help, that love to help. Their passion is to help. Get help. Substance abuse, whatever it may be, low self-esteem, depression, seek help. This may sound crazy. You can look up on YouTube how to get over depression. You will be so surprised at the things that you have access to if you don't want to go out and speak to someone, or you don't want to tell your family members or your friends, or you just, because of embarrassment, your shame, you don't want people to judge you. But there's so many ways that you can seek help. But if you don't admit that you have a problem, whatever that problem may be, it's going to make it all the more difficult for you to get help. Now, I steer clear of the whole church topic for a reason. I'm gonna separate that and put that in another video, because like Iyanla says, her feelings, LeAndria's feelings, are very, very valid. And I know a few people personally who suffer or have suffered from church hurt. So with that being said, that'll be another video. Thank you for coming back to the Royal Palace, my royal family. This is fun. Like I said, I'm new to YouTube and just trying to get, positive messages out there. Be sure to like this video so that others, can see this video as well. Hopefully it'll provide some sort of encouragement. Be sure to comment. I want to keep the conversation going. I love to converse. I love to interact with people. I love to learn from people. I love to share my experiences with people. So be sure to, comment so that we can keep the conversation going. And if you like what you see, check out my other content. Be sure to subscribe. Once again, thank you for coming to the Royal Palace. And until next time, peace, Royal family.